Now 92.5 FM.
Welcome in. Thanks so much for being with us on The Lead. I'm Hayes Carline. Please be joined with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. What's going on? It's good to see you. Did you stay dry out there?
Yeah, a little bit of rain when I was driving here, which threw 95 into a mixer. So I ended up taking Phillips to Bowden. Maybe crossed over a couple lanes illegally on that one. But so
You've got diplomatic immunity.
By the way, diplomatic
immunity.
But
it's just been revoked.
What you don't have immunity for is entering the Big 5-0 for Hayes Carline.
Yeah, how about that? Hard to believe. Thank you.
During your staycation.
That's right. Yep. Turned 50 and feel great. Yeah, feel
you
great.
Look great.
Thank you. Yeah, feeling good. Clean living. So yeah, I appreciate the happy birthday wishes.
I looked over to JJ. You can't BS a BSer.
That's right. We got a lot of fun stuff coming up on The Lead today. Kai Stevens is going to join us at 4:45 to talk Jaguars. Brenton Strange, the ins and outs of that deal. The open practices, Kyle, tell us about that, and we'll give her a chance to tell us what's coming up on Jaguars.com. Certainly look forward to that. We're going to talk tons of Jaguars today. In our next segment, Ryan and I are going to do our projected 53-man roster. I'm excited about this. I mean, it's a fun exercise to do. Again, we don't anticipate there being a lot of movement between now and the start of training camp, so it's a good time to kind of take a pause and kind of look at the health of the roster and who we think are on the right side of making the team. So that'll be a lot of fun. We'll do that in our next segment. We're going to talk a lot of U.S. soccer as well. Obviously, we've got the expert in Jacksonville, JJ LaSelva, with us. If you haven't been watching JJ's instant reactions, be sure that you do that, and his just weekly soccer podcast. But we'll get into last night's 3-2 loss to Turkey and kind of where everything is headed now, and how the U.S. was able to set themselves up in very good position for what will be a enormous game Wednesday in terms of just sports in this country. Obviously, it's a knockout World Cup game, but I think even beyond Wednesday at 8 o'clock against Bosnia-Herzegovina, I mean, this is going to be one that, if it goes well for our country, is I think a sporting event we'll be talking about for a really long time.
Yeah, it is a touchstone event because the momentum they created by winning those first two matches. Last night, I'll be honest, with nothing on the line, I had two screens on. I was almost watching more of the Australia game. If they lose in the round of 32, all that's forgotten. It's okay, the World Cup's on, blah, 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 but the casual sports fan is going to tune out. So I think it would be good for the sport, good for just, people being interested. If you win your group, you got to win the group of 32 match, period.
And JJ, it seems like, I like when you give us lines more in like a football standpoint. It seems like, looking at the betting odds, that we'll be a fairly significant favorite.
Yeah, a lot more even than the first two matches. So we talked a few weeks ago, and you were like, are we like 8-point favorites up against Paraguay? And I was like, honestly, we're probably like 3.
Yeah.
But it ended up being an 8-point.
Right.
But this, I think Bosnia is probably, on paper, odds-wise, you wouldn't have them as close as the Paraguays of the world, which seems odd now that we've seen Paraguay, not do that great in the tournament. But yeah, USA, I think, to advance, which takes into account like extra time and penalties, you have to bet like $400 to win 100. They're heavy favorites to win this game. So I would say this is like a 7.5, 8-point spread for USA.
How did Pulisic look last night?
I thought he looked fantastic. To me, like, one of the more important aspects of the game, obviously, like you said, didn't mean much. But and I'm sure we'll get into the backups and all that, but just him specifically, I thought he looked great. And I thought it was important for him to play because it would have been like 20 days, 19 days from the last time he played into the knockout round game. And like, that's way too long for a guy, especially in a tournament like this, to try to knock off Russ. So yeah, he came on and looked like the best player on the pitch last night easily. So it was a good 25 minutes. Yeah.
I mean,
he made like 3 chances all by himself. He was a little selfish on the first one. He probably could have crossed it and had an assist, but I didn't blame him for being like, hey, I'm the star of the team. I'm going to come back. I'm going to score a goal. And then the second chance he had on his left from the outside of the box, barely missed. And
Right.
I was just thinking, man, imagine the
I thought it was
headlines.
in.
Yeah, me too. Imagine the headlines if we win 3-2 and Pulisic comes back and scores. It would have been great. But
One thing that's clear through the second round of games in group stage and also the third round, there are teams that are a lot better, I think, than the U.S.
Oh, yeah. Look at France right
yeah,
now. I mean,
France. I thought Norway had a good first two games. Portugal turned it on.
yeah.
Brazil's starting to turn it on. Just so much skill all over the place.
Spain,
Yeah.
They had their hiccup in game one. England had their hiccup last game, but they're another dominant team. Norway, I would actually put sort of on our level, especially today shows like they sat all their starters like we did, and they're getting pounded.
Yeah.
So it just shows like most teams in this tournament besides, well, I would say any team in the tournament, if you replace 10 out of 11 starters, they're not going to look great.
Which I don't like. They were still in it for the group.
Who?
Norway.
I know.
So,
Today I don't get that
so
at
it's
all.
like,
It wasn't.
we know who they're betting on.
Yeah, exactly. Like USA had literally nothing to play for. We won the group. Norway, if they beat France today, they could have won the group. Instead, they just threw in the white flag, which is usually France's thing. So,
And you mentioned this throughout, throughout the last like 10 days, but that watching those yellow cards and the U.S. was able to.
We were really smart about not
Right.
playing any of those guys. So if you don't know if any of the guys who got a yellow card in the first two games got another one last night, they wouldn't have been able to play against Bosnia. So Poch did the right thing and was like, hey, nobody's playing. And I thought our backups looked respectable except for the back line. Except for the defense. The defense was so bad, and we knew it would be.
Is that Sergio Brown out there?
Oh my gosh, 2 claps. What was his thing?
Yeah, 2 claps
Two
and a
claps
Ric Flair.
and a Ric Flair. But yeah,
O'Halloran's favorite sports photo of all time is Sergio Brown against the Saints, right?
Yep.
Tell us about it.
He literally got run over by a blocker. In the picture the next day in the New Orleans Times-Picayune is of him literally on his head.
It's like one of the greatest action shots.
Well, that's
ever.
what McKenzie looked like last night after the first goal. And our defense is already questionable, like with the starters out there. But it really showed, like, we need Tim Ream. I didn't think I'd ever say that, but holy crap, we need Tim Ream. And obviously Chris Richards makes a huge difference. Freeman makes a huge difference. So, yeah, we are really, really thin when it comes to our depth, but especially in defense. So we are praying for no injuries throughout this tournament from anybody in our defense or yellow card accumulation or anything like that, because it was just night and day compared to when our starters were playing.
Did you get a sense, too, with Turkey that since they were going home, there was a little bit, there's no pressure, but there was some motivation to at least beat the U.S. on American soil.
Which you could tell, like, at first when we scored right away, which we've been doing every single game in this tournament. We've scored in the first 10 minutes of the match. So we scored. By the way, I should say Trusty had a good match. So Trusty scores right away, and you're thinking, man, Turkey might just be demoralized now. Like, they already are out of the tournament. What do they have to play for? But no, they scored immediately. And I think that if we sort of made it, 10, 20 minutes past our goal and they hadn't scored, they would have capitulated and just given up. But because they scored, you could tell it really meant a lot to them. And then the celebrations at the end kind of caught me off guard. Like, they were celebrating like they won the World Cup final.
Yeah.
But whatever. Props to them. They're on a plane back to Constantinople right now.
I've got no problem with Turkey because their head coach looks like David Byrne of the Talking Heads. And so every time they showed him, I was belting out Burning Down the House. But switching gears, have you guys seen that Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce's wedding is going to be, they believe, in Madison Square Garden?
A 3-day event.
Yeah, next weekend. So obviously we know
America's
what this means.
birthday.
Right. So obviously this is the greatest crash of all time. So we need to start concocting our story for how we're going to crash the Taylor Swift Travis Kelce wedding.
I'm going to show up in full Chiefs uniform. What time is practice?
Yeah.
I'm Rasheed
We're
Rice.
importers, exporters. But that'll be a lot.
I'm with Blake Lively.
Yeah, we may have some fun with that.
Sorry,
Give us a call at 641-1010 and tell us.
I'm Andy Reid's personal chef.
Give us your suggestions on how we can go about crashing the Taylor Swift.
I did see that
Travis
they're
Kelce
keeping
wedding.
it so secret that they didn't do any invitations in the mail or online. It was all by phone call. And they even asked Andy Reid about it. And he's like, oh, I can't talk about it. So they're making the most likable guy in the NFL hateable even. Yeah. I'm just like, this has to end.
It would be pretty cool, though, to be in Madison Square Garden just to see. Can you imagine? Like,
well,
can you
one
imagine
night there's 100 people.
The talent at that wedding?
Whoa. Well, the first night is like friends and family.
Yeah, I don't want to go to that.
People. We want to go
to the one that like Sydney Sweeney is going to be at.
Exactly.
Like that party.
That's the next night. That's 1,000 people. And yeah, I couldn't imagine the talent on display.
Yes. Oh, well, we've got 2 hours to come up with our story.
We'll get in there.
Yeah, and feel free to text or call us and give us your suggestions. When we come back on the lead, let's get it to the Jaguars. Ryan and I are going to look at our projections for the 53-man roster as we get about a month away from the opening of training camp. We'll do that next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
This is The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Sometimes it takes a little something extra.
All he needs is a little jolt of the miraculous elixir.
1010XL, Jacksonville Sports Talk Elixir.
Truck buyers, listen up. Right now at Nimnick Chevrolet, you can get 0% financing for 60 months on a new Chevrolet Silverado. Look, guys like trucks. I love a truck. I've got a truck from Nimnick and been driving it for the longest time. Well, think about this. 0% for 5 years at Nimnick Chevrolet. Rates haven't been this low in years. Nimnick Chevrolet also has the largest selection of Silverado trucks in Northeast Florida and Southeast Georgia. So don't wait. Head there today. And here's what else you get at Nimnick. People that treat you right. Not just while you're buying the truck, but even after the fact. I've been buying my cars and trucks at Nimnick forever, since 1982. So I promise you, I trust them. Well, you can trust them too. Visit NimnickChevy.com to start shopping today. The largest inventory, better prices, the best interest and rate, and you know what? People that treat you absolutely right. Go get a Chevy Silverado from the best place to get it, at Nimnick. Who treats you fantastic in town? That's easy. Nobody but Nimnick.
There's no doubt that we were in good hands when our son's shoulder and hip issues were diagnosed quickly by Southeast Orthopedic Specialists. No matter what your orthopedic issue is, let Southeast Orthopedic Specialists take a look. You'll be glad you did.
David Garrard here. I've had the PRP treatment from Southeast Orthopedic Specialists, and my knees are really doing well. Platelet-rich plasma treatment may be the answer for whatever is hurting you.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
I'm Frank Frangie, and I can tell you, in this financial climate, or really any, it's never been more important to make your money work for you, which is why I'll recommend Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management team at South State Bank. Financial planning is based on trust, because it's so important. You can trust the South State team. They offer the best combination of sophisticated wealth management strategies with a truly personal approach. That will help you meet your financial goals. Stop by your local South State branch and ask them to connect you with Mike McGuire and the Wealth Management team. You'll be glad you did. South State Bank, member FDIC.
Sent in, and Sporting Jacks breaks through first.
For the latest on Jacksonville's pro soccer teams, join the Sporting Jacks Coaches Show, presented by Honda of the Avenues, every Tuesday night at 6 on 1010 AM and 1010XL.com.
Frank Frangie here, and Big Chief Tire makes it easier than ever to get the tires you need with the Big Chief credit card. No annual fee, low monthly payments, and great promotional financing. Plus, you get free flat repairs and rotations, and right now, $50 off your first purchase when you sign up. I love how simple they make everything. Visit WeKeepJacksRollin.com to apply for the credit card and get the tires you need today. That's Big Chief Tire.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
Baloo here for Smoonez Vision. Why Smoonez Vision? Well, I've been with Dr. Neil Smoonez now since I got back to Jacksonville in 2006. 37 years of experience he has. Smoonez Vision is a family organization that focuses on personal high-quality medical and surgical eye care. Dr. Catherine Smoonez is fellowship trained in cornea and cataract surgery and all refractive surgery. Combined, that's 30 years plus in laser eye surgery. Visit SmoonezVision.com today. Here you can see.
The Poker Atlas Tour is blazing its way through Best Bet St. Augustine, now through June 28th. Get in on the action with 7 poker events, highlighted by the $600 No Limit Hold'em title event, boasting a $200,000 guaranteed prize pool. And dive into the action of Event 1 with an impressive $100,000 guarantee. Join us at Best Bet St. Augustine for the Poker Atlas Poker Tour. Head to bestbetjacks.com for details. That's bestbetjacks.com.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. ET here, and it's bigger game days and UFC fight nights. I mean, where else can you find a scratch kitchen that's always coming through in the clutch every day, from lunch to late at night? Only at Twin Peaks, your #1 sports bar.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
Welcome back to the lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hayes Carline here with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSilva. All right, Ryan, let's dive into our Jaguar 53-man projection. Before we get, usually I like to go 25, 25, and 3. But in my breakdown, I'm curious to see, I ended up with 24 on offense, 26 on defense, and obviously the 3 specialists. But let's just get started at quarterback. As we get into this, was there anything about doing the exercise that surprised you when you did it?
What surprised me is how easy it was.
Yeah.
Offense and defense, I really only have like one question.
Okay.
That I went, okay, do they keep an extra this or an extra that? So I'll start with offense. Obviously, quarterback, Mullins and Lawrence, no problem there.
Right.
I think the first question is 3 running backs or 4. I got 3.
Okay, yeah. I went 4, but I would understand going 3, particularly, with practice squad and how they can utilize that. But I do have them keeping, I'm assuming you don't have them keeping Abdullah?
Yeah, I got Rodriguez, Tootin, Allen.
Okay, yeah. And so I added Abdullah in there for some veteran presence. Do you think that as you look at the running back spot, if they only go with 3, how much of a risk do you think that would be, and how could they minimize that risk?
I think it's a natural risk with only 3. I think this is how you minimize it. You have a 16-man practice squad. I think you keep 2 on the practice squad. That would be Jamari Taylor, who's your developmental guy, who I think is going to have a great camp because he's going to get a lot of work. And that's where you keep Abdullah, where if one of your guys, strains a calf in Thursday's practice, you'll feel confident calling up Amir Abdullah and understand he's going to know what to do in the game on Sunday. That's how I rationalize that.
Did you consider keeping Jamari Taylor?
I did not, because
it's still so early.
Yeah, and we haven't seen him in pads yet, but that has nothing to do with it. You're so young at that position as it is. I figured, okay, a 4th-year guy, 2 second-year guys. Do you really want another rookie? So if they do keep 4, I have them keep a veteran. Okay,
so you've got 3 running backs. That's going to enable you to have a little bit of some depth elsewhere. I kept 4 running backs. So let's look at receiver. Obviously, we know Jacoby Myers, Parker Washington, Brian Thomas Jr. First off, did you count Travis Hunter as a receiver or a corner?
I counted him on defense as a corner. I did as well. Okay. So I got Myers, Thomas, Washington, both rookies, Cameron and Williams. And then for a 6th guy, which I don't feel great about, I kept Trammell. Because I think maybe one of the rookies you want to sort of stash as a healthy scratch. But I could easily see them keeping 5 receivers.
And that's the direction I went. Okay. So I kept 5. I kept both. I think they're going to keep every rookie that they drafted. I mean, in all likelihood. I mean, we'll see. But again, these guys, my guess is the draft picks are going to be safe. If they can walk and chew gum during training camp, I think that they'll make the roster. But the receivers have looked, good. Again, they haven't gotten in pads yet, but I think you can feel, pretty confident so far in what you've seen out of Cameron and Williams. So yeah, I kept 5. If I did keep 6, Trammell, I would agree with you. Would have been the guy there. Tight end.
I have 4 because Hunter Long wasn't even on the field a lot because of injury, because what's his status? But obviously Strange, Borkature, Koziel, and Quentin Morris. Quentin Morris has on the team because he brings such great special teams value. And also, if you get banged up as a blocker, he can go in and play that role. So I have them keeping 4 tight ends. A month ago, I had him keeping 5 with Hunter Long, but sort of him falling off a little bit. I got him keeping 4.
I've got him keeping 4 as well. That also seems to be a position that if you had to scramble, that you'd probably be able to find competent, depth there in terms of the guys that are still out there. It really is interesting when you look at the tight end snaps last year and how diversified they were. Now, part of that was Brenton's injury. Brenton Strange played 591 offensive snaps, but Johnny Munt had 389. I mean, that was like 34% of the offensive snaps last year for a guy that I don't remember really having that big of a role. Hunter Long had 258, so certainly, pretty healthy number there. And Quentin Morris had 214, which was 18%. So that was a position last year. Again, some of that was Brenton missing several games. But, I mean, as we look at that position, and obviously it's been one that's had the spotlight on it throughout the offseason because of the investment that they made in the draft. But that is a spot where you could see Borkircher, Koziel, and Morris all play, I think, probably more significant snaps than maybe what a lot of people might believe.
Yeah, I mean, it's the one case where I think reading the tea leaves is going to be accurate. They drafted 2 tight ends. They just re-signed Brenton Strange. I mean, I think the shift is going to be toward, hey, let's feature 12. Don't be afraid to mix in some 13. And also just it gives Liam Combs some options of how to move guys around. If you have 3 tight ends on the field, they don't have to all play tight end. You can have Brenton Strange in the backfield along with the running back. You have Koziel out in the slot, create some matchups that way. So the distribution of play time and the distribution of targets at the tight end spot is going to be really interesting to see once they get into the season.
Yeah, and without a doubt. As we get to the offensive line, boy, this is a healthy group. I mean, in terms of, again, we've been doing obviously, like, I've been doing Jags 53 since 2013. You've been doing 53s for several NFL teams for a lot longer than that. It's unusual, I think, to get to guy 8, 9, and 10 and feel so good, at least about the prospect, how they got to the team, whether it's their contract, whether it's where they were selected in the draft. But give me who you're keeping on the 53 along that offensive front.
Yeah, I kept 10, and it was easy. Player by player here, McCarry, Van Lanen, Hainsey, Cleveland, Harrison, the starters. Backups, Udoga, Monheim, Milam, Little, and Pregnon. We're doing this as an exercise for a 53. If they get the Labor Day weekend and somebody says, we're decimated, we'll give you a third for Walker Little.
You
do it. And then the math changes a little bit, and you maybe work in, a DG or Jono, who they gave some pretty decent money to. He'll be a practice squad guy. They basically guaranteed him his practice squad salary for this year. But you're right. I mean, it took me 5 seconds to write down 10 numbers, and it's not going to be the best line in the league. It's, but they at least have guys that have played a little bit, and they feel good about the guys they're developing to eventually take over.
I would agree with you. I would say it's not going to be one of the best lines in the league, but I do think it's one of the best lines in the league from a depth standpoint. Mm-hmm. If they get a lot of attrition, I think they'll be able to weather the storm. Now, part of that is, what is Milam at this level? What is Pregnon? What is Monheim? A lot of it is young guys, but in Pregnon and Milam's case, they were drafted high by this group. So you'd like to think that, the odds are pretty favorable that they'll at least be able to be, serviceable if called into action, if not, really quality players. And Monheim looked good last year, obviously was a 7th round pick, but played well in the amount that we saw. So in terms of looking at the offense, I think we're pretty much in agreement. I had Van Lanen, Cleveland, Hainsey, McCary, Harrison, Little, Pregnon, Milam, Monheim.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. And so interesting. By the way, in our next segment, we'll take your calls. So if you have any Jaguar questions, give us a call at 641-1010. You can also text us at that number. If you don't want to talk Jaguars, you don't have a Jaguars question, tell us what you're doing. What's your plan for U.S. Soccer Wednesday night at 8:00 against Bosnia? Give us the excitement level that you got. And we're still looking for cover story suggestions, because Ryan, JJ, and I are going to attempt to crash the Taylor Swift, Travis Kelce wedding next weekend in Madison Square Garden.
Running back, you got 4. I think a fourth guy would be somebody who's not here yet.
It could be.
To me, that's, and I said this yesterday. I understand why they have confidence in this group at running backs right now, but it doesn't mean I necessarily 100% agree with it.
Right.
There is just not a lot of experience there. And Abdullah, hey, if he's the answer, I want to know what the question is, that kind of thing. But these guys, Rodriguez hasn't even hit the field yet. The other two guys are second-year players who were role players last year. Are they going to be ready for increased responsibility? So that part is, they didn't ignore it, but I think they feel like if they need to address it, they can pretty easily in late August.
I don't think this will happen, but if Joe Mixon gets cleared, would you have an interest?
I definitely would bring him in just to work him out and say, hey, this is what we got for you money-wise. This is what we got role-wise. Are you interested in doing that? And I think the same question we can have on defense is with, name your edge rusher.
Oh, sure. We'll get to defense probably around 5:15. Obviously, we're not going to have time to get to it in this segment, but you're right. There are some positions. There's a couple on defense, I think, that when you start putting together the 53, it starts to pop at the depth issues that they have. But again, these are great problems. We're used to basically not knowing, who four of the starters are going to be on each side of the ball.
Yeah, there were years where we're having 3 undrafted guys make our initial 53. So that shows you the roster. And, what you're seeing around online, Bill Barnwell had today, rankings of skill positions.
Right.
And
I saw the Jags were, 18th in that?
And the running back thing brings them down because I'm sure running backs are probably, I bet if you had to rank the running backs, probably 29th or 30th.
Yeah.
Because they're just not proven.
Oh, it'd be hard to argue.
Yeah. And so that's sort of bringing the ranking down. But you look at this.
And he doesn't include quarterback. So you don't get credit for an MVP finalist starting quarterback.
So when you're looking at this skill position depth chart, the knee-jerk reaction is they're going to throw it a ton.
Yeah.
But then the other thing is he wants to run it a ton. But but I think a game-to-game thing will be, hey, what does the defense stink at, and then you can expose it.
See, to me, and again, we really don't know what happened with Joe Mixon. He suffered an ankle injury, and then it became
disappeared.
Yeah, this really hard.
All kinds of rumors online.
Yeah, the Texans never really gave any sort of update on it. He missed the entire year last year. He's still relatively young. I don't even think Joe Mixon is 30 yet. I think he's 20. He might be 30, but he's 29, 30. He's certainly not 33, 34. And he was productive.
29.
He's 29, yeah. And in his last full season, he was a productive player for Houston before the injury. Now, again, the injury may be it may be a career ender. It just may be one of these weird situations where whatever ailment he has just never got 100% back, and he's not able to continue his career. But if Joe Mixon got cleared, I think he'd be fantastic here in this offense.
Yeah, I mean, he's right at that top of the list. Najee Harris still out there. Here's another guy to consider. If Austin Eckler could be a third down guy, he's still available.
But I like their third down guy. I
guess if injury arises, but other than that, it's pretty slim pickings. And
I think Mixon's probably done. I mean, I would say it's probably 80% chance that he never plays in the NFL again, because you just don't often see. And he does have, even though he hasn't hit 30 yet, he does have a lot of wear and tear on his body. He's had a good NFL career. So interesting. So offensively, how would you describe where they are at from a talent standpoint?
I think they're above average. I have questions at running back. That would bring my grade down if I had to grade the entire offensive roster. The offensive line to me is, I think I've said this before, just because you're starting every game doesn't mean you're great. So with Walker Little, if he has to start week 1 at left tackle, what does that look like when Van Lanen comes back? How long will it take him to get up to speed at left tackle? And there were a couple of moments in the last half of the season where Van Lanen looked like a new left tackle. So, how much confidence is he going to have in his knee at that point? So, I would say they should have confidence with the talent they have on hand, with the play caller. they should be able to score points.
Yeah, I completely agree. I think they'll be better than they were last year, and they were excellent last year. So it's going to be a lot of fun seeing what Liam Cohen can concoct with this group of talent around him. And again, the depth, I think, particularly on the offensive line, could really save them. We saw it last year with the Chargers. They lose their 2 offensive tackles who they invested big money in Slater and Alt, big draft picks and things like that. And they fell apart.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I'm not suggesting anyone on this roster. I mean, Anton Harrison may be in the ballpark,
Mm-hmm.
but yeah, I mean, I think the depth they have along the offensive line, and to your point, the weapons, it's going to make it very difficult for Liam Cohen not to find an advantage week in and week out unless he's playing Houston and Denver. Those are probably the 2 where they would say, all right, line up. Well, we feel like we can stop you.
Yeah,
but
and
beyond those 2.
And really, the only thing that stopped them last year were penalties.
Right.
And which means they got behind the sticks, which meant they had to throw it, and he couldn't run it as much as he wanted to. So, a lot of that stuff was self-inflicted. And then the turnover is self-inflicted until Lawrence figured that out. And then they were rolling.
Yeah, no doubt about it. We come back on the lead. We're going to take your calls and read your text. So send it to us, 641-1010. Tell us your plan for U.S. Soccer Wednesday night versus Bosnia. What are you doing? We want to hear that. If you got a Jaguars question, something on the 53, Joe Mixon, would you be interested in a player like that? Let us know. You're listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Streaming live from the XL Digital Studios. Polished by Harbor Dental Care, the locally owned smile restoration experts.
Life is about choices and the decisions you make. I'm David Robbins with Epstein & Robbins. If you're convicted of a DUI, you'll have to face severe consequences. Walking through the doors of the courthouse or appearing at a bond hearing can be extremely intimidating. Without the right lawyer, you're likely to make the wrong decision. Let our team help you make the right decisions in court. Epstein & Robbins, the right choice.
Epstein & Robbins, fighting for your rights since 1975.
Hey, it's Carline here for Atlantic Infinity. I love my QX60, but the big news is the beautiful 2027 QX65s are now in, and you've got to go check them out. Every Infinity comes with the Atlantic Infinity Promise. That's over $7,000 in added value. That's one of many reasons why I bought mine there. Just a great experience. The service department is incredible. Do what I did. Make your next ride an Infinity from Atlantic Infinity. Visit AtlanticInfinity.com or visit the showroom near Atlantic in St. John's Bluff.
Birthdays, anniversaries, and graduations happen year-round. That's why it's good to have Kuhn Flowers on hand to send that floral arrangement with a simple click. Call or showroom visit. Make Kuhn Flowers your go-to when you need to send your love.
Happy Father's Day to all you fathers.
Absolutely. Happy Father's Day. Well, thanks, guys.
Wow, I wonder how many fathers out there would love a new outdoor kitchen under their new pavilion or screen enclosure from Lifetime Enclosures.
I bet most would. Imagine having the entire family over and cooking a barbecue feast for everyone, protected from the elements.
I'd like to cook for Dad. Jacob, do you think you could? I think so, Pan.
I bet both you guys could.
Visit Lifetime Enclosures website or visit our showrooms today to experience the Lifetime difference and ask about our Father's Day specials.
Lifetime Enclosures.
Get out of the heat and into the action with the Jacksonville Sharks coming up Sunday, June 28th. Kickoff 7:30 and tickets start at just $15. Be one of the first 1,000 fans and receive a free light stick. It's Red Out Night. Wear a red shirt and let's make the tank a sea of red. Witness history as Aaron Garcia becomes the first player ever inducted into the Sharks Ring of Honor. Presented by Kia on Atlantic. Bring the whole crew and try our family 4-pack. 4 tickets and $50 in food vouchers for only $100. The fun continues on the field after the game with our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 621-0700.
Get out of the heat and into the action.
Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks!
America's turning 250, and Superior Fireworks is ready for the biggest 4th of July in a generation. Beat the rush and save during their 4th of July early sale, now through June 30th. Shop early for the best prices, selection, and shopping experience before huge last-minute crowds arrive. Superior Fireworks, the locally owned fireworks superstore, right on Blanding Boulevard in Orange Park and at superiorfireworks.com/radio.
Summer's almost here, and that means it's grilling season. Before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street and 295. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meat, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at a grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Make Houston's Meat Company part of your weekend tradition.
Mark Watson with Hardball Creative. What's better than beer? Cold beer. Put your company logo on a custom koozie. Check them out at hardballcreative.com.
Hardball Creative. Hardball does it all.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
It's your turn to talk. Call or text us at 641-1010. We hear from you now on The Lead.
Great song.
Great song.
Color
of Money. That's right.
Eric
Scorsese.
Kaplan, yeah.
Paul Newman, Tom Cruise. The sequel to The Hustler. Fantastic movie. And a great, great song.
Yeah.
I like this song because it goes right into it.
Yeah.
Like the first second. This is literally like.
Yeah, I started
how
at the
song,
very beginning. Yeah,
it starts.
Well,
but,
it's on my 2026 most played.
oh, nice.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
on iTunes. So.
Very good. Welcome back to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. It's your turn. You're free to call us, 641-1010. We'll put you right through, but we've got some outstanding messages, questions on the text line. Again, you can ask us about the Jaguars. Tell us what you're doing for the U.S. soccer game Wednesday night. We'd love to hear that. But JJ, kick us off because we've got some really good questions here.
Yeah,
for the Jags.
449 texted in with a very popular topic on XL Primetime. What do the Jags look like if Trevor were to go down? I have serious concerns about our backup quarterback. Is there any other option for us to find someone else? Is someone else available?
Well, one word would describe the Jaguars' predicament if Lawrence gets hurt. We cannot say that on the radio.
I have a few in my mind.
I mean, Nick Mullins would be the guy for 3 weeks. He'd probably win you 2 games because he wouldn't turn it over. Liam would find a way to scheme some stuff up for him. But long term, like 28 other teams in this league, if you lose your starter for a long time, they're done. Flip it ahead. I think they'll address backup quarterback in the offseason. I'd draft one on day 3 and say, hey, compete for a job, and you can save a lot of money on the cap that way.
I mean, honestly, if something happened to Trevor in the first, either in training camp or in the first few games of the season, I mean, at that point, I think you're playing for Jeremiah Smith. I mean, I think at that point you might as well. I mean, you have no chance. I mean, you're not going to. I mean, you might win. You might find your way to 6 wins because you got a real good coach. But
Kirk Cousins, Liam Cohen.
Yeah, well, that would be if you had to find, if that was the assignment. If it was we don't want this season to be squandered. Do we have an option out there? I mean, you've got Tua in Atlanta, who once Penix is back, you would like to think the Falcons might make available. Mac Jones has already been here, but obviously played well in the absence of Brock Purdy. Kirk Cousins, whenever Mendoza is ready to take that over, could be an option. If it was those 3, which do you think would work best with Liam?
I would think Cousins because of the O'Connell background.
Yeah,
and also you need to have somebody come in here who can pick up the offense yesterday.
Right.
And I think that Cousins and Cohen could be that kind of duo. I'd call Pittsburgh about Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
Hey, what the heck?
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think he probably has a no trade, but I would. That's the thing is, okay, how would they respond? They would probably be proactive out of the gate to say, hey, let's salvage the season because, hey, we have good talent around whoever's playing quarterback.
Yeah, that's a very good question. We certainly appreciate it. Ryan, you saw one that you liked on the text line as well,
it was from
right?
the 601. Why wouldn't the Jags bring in James Robinson for a workout? He ran for nearly 700 yards in the UFL. He would probably be ecstatic to sign a practice squad deal. Well, I agree that he would be ecstatic.
Yes.
He had that great season here in 2020, went over 1,000 yards, but he has not been with an NFL team since August of 2024. So I think that proverbial ship has sailed. because I think at this point, if you're going to sign a running back to the practice squad, it's going to be a guy like Jamari Taylor.
I appreciate the question because James Robinson, the league never successfully counterpunched him. It's not like he all of a sudden just stunk. It's just that his knee was such a wreck that I think, it's why he didn't get drafted. And it was such a chore for him just to be ready to play every week that he couldn't really practice. I am interested that he's had this kind of a run in this obviously minor league, because it makes me wonder if his knee is a little bit better. If his knee is somehow improved for whatever reason, you wouldn't think a running back's knee would improve with time, but maybe whether it was some new treatment or maybe he just finally fully healed or whatever. He's a talented player. I mean, he's the reason Leonard Fournette got cut. And again, it's not like he ever was exposed for being, okay, yeah, he got hot for a month, but then, he cooled down and he just wasn't a quality NFL player. It was just he was always so hurt they couldn't count on him. So they moved off of him. But, yeah, I mean, I think it's certainly an interesting suggestion considering he is being productive in the game of football today. This one was interesting. This one's from the 300. If Jalen Carter is really available for trade, would you do it for BTJ and picks? He goes on to say, I don't see BTJ as a number one receiver, which I would at this point agree with. If I could get Jalen Carter, I would give the Eagles pretty much whatever they wanted outside of Trevor Lawrence. I mean,
I would definitely include Travis Hunter.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not kidding. Like, to me, Jalen Carter is somebody that just wrecks games. Like, I mean,
all games.
Like, he's a man-child. And, obviously you'd have to be comfortable paying him and, you'd have to...
ancillary issues and behavior.
Right.
And,
I mean, he got ejected for spitting in a game in, like, the first play. I mean, obviously there's things like that, but I don't know if there's a defensive tackle I would rather have if you're building a roster than Jalen Carter, because he's got to be like under 25.
Yeah, and his name has come up in my mind when you're looking at the Jaguars' lack of activity this offseason in terms of trading for an impact player. It's like that's the kind of guy you're saving your powder for around midseason where contract stocks have stalled. He's pouting in Philadelphia. Okay, now, Jaguars, call Holly Roseman. Give us 24 hours, work out a deal for an extension. Then we'll talk trade and do it that way where there's no tryout. You're coming here with a new deal. He would be a difference maker, and I would endorse that a lot. A couple more questions coming in too.
Yeah. We got one. I'm assuming he's talking about Van Lannon. Was Cole really that good last year? I'm nowhere near good enough to evaluate him, but I just never came away thinking I was blown away.
He was up and down, but the key thing in their mind was who he wasn't, and he wasn't Walker Little. And so they feel like they were able to mold him a little bit. They liked his athleticism. He struggled in the Denver game, but so did a lot of guys in that game because Denver's that good. But the Jags still won. So the contract was interesting to me to do it off such a short sample size. Now he's coming back from the injury, which isn't his fault. But once he gets back up to full strength and full speed, it will be interesting to see how he counterpunches what teams are going to do with him on that edge.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll wrap it up with this one from the 954. I would take a flyer on Will Levis at quarterback if disaster happens.
Wow, that is a disaster.
Yeah, who obviously, I mean,
he knows the system.
He knows the system, and he knows Leon. It's hard for me to blame Will Levis. Yeah. Like, I'd be fine with that. I don't think the Titans would trade him to the Jaguars. I just don't think they would do it. But if I could get Will Levis for a conditional 7th round pick, I'd do that all day long. He's a great athlete. And Tennessee, who obviously we've seen up close and personal, they've been a disaster for the last few years. They fired Mike Vrabel. They ran through numerous GMs. They haven't made a quality pick since Jeffrey Simmons 9 years ago or however. I mean, it's not exactly an organization that if you're a quarterback and you come in, you should be expected to do great things for right away. So I don't know that it'll be here, but I could see Will Levis having a Sam Darnold second act somewhere where you look up in 4 or 5 years and Will Levis has resurrected his career.
Yeah, I mean, his comfort level here would be immediate. And also, you got to think a guy like him would be liberated getting out of that situation where he started for parts of 2 years. Now they drafted a guy first overall. Last one popped in from the 614. If Travis Hunter doesn't meet expectations at corner, would Brian Thomas be on the table for a trade so Hunter plays more at receiver? It's interesting how we're getting Brian Thomas trade questions today, which is entertaining to me.
Yeah, right. Well, his stock is sort of back up a little bit because of the strong offseason. So
this is a question that Jaguars would dive under the table to avoid answering. I mean, they're counting on Hunter being great at corner and great at receiver. If he's not great at corner, then they got to reshuffle, and that would be a tough admittance.
I'd be shocked if he's not great at corner. Yeah, he may not at receiver. I think I think he'll be good at receiver. I'd be stunned. I mean, he's built. He was built to play corner in the NFL. And it seems like he's, wired right and everything. So I'd be surprised if he doesn't become an outstanding corner at the very minimum for his NFL career here with the Jaguars. But great stuff. We certainly appreciate you guys reaching out to us, and we'll continue to do this in the weeks to come. But when we come back, let's stay on the Jaguars. Let's bring in Kai Stevens. Kai is going to give us her insights on the Brenton Strange contract, tell us about the open practices and what's going on at Jaguars.com. You were listening to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're listening to The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Summertime in your favorite city.
Summer day.
1010XL.
Summer day.
Your summer station.
Not everyone is built for a cubicle. At Local 234, apprentices get paid to learn hands-on skills like plumbing, pipe fitting, HVAC, the stuff Jacksonville runs on. No endless lectures, no massive student debt, just hands-on training, real jobs, and real pay. This is how you level up, by doing work that actually matters. Check them out at UA234.com. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Local 234. Make the right connection.
Key Buick GMC, proudly family-owned and operated since 1943. Come see why we are North Florida's new and pre-owned truck center, conveniently located on Southside and JTB, just minutes from the St. John's Town Center. At Key Buick GMC, every new vehicle comes with our lifetime powertrain warranty. Key Buick GMC, we are professional grade. KeyBuickGMC.com. Lifetime powertrain warranty covers engine, transmission, drivetrain only. Exclusions apply. See dealer for details.
He's our Big Mac.
Woo! It's Smash Mouth football, baby!
Tom McManus brings his big opinions to Jaguars Today.
Every Friday morning at 10 a.m. on 1010 XL.
Protected by Renewal by Anderson Custom Windows and Doors.
Everyone's loving the incredible free finance offer at Beard's Diamonds, but you have to hurry. Time is running out. You have until 6 p.m. on June 30th to get zero interest financing for 5 whole years. This extraordinary offer will not be extended, so don't wait. Beard's has the engagement rings, the wedding bands, the earrings, pendants, bracelets, case after case of exquisite jewelry she wants. You can get the lowest price now and then spread your payments over 5 years with zero interest. Take a $6,000 diamond tennis bracelet, get Beard's value price, pay zero down, and pay just $100 a month for 5 years. In a world of high interest rates, this is almost too good to be true. But it's happening now through June 30th at Beard's Diamonds. Beard's Diamonds, the only local jeweler at the town center, giving Jacksonville the selection, value, service, and quality you deserve. The big box chain stores can't even come close. So hurry in to take advantage of free financing. Beard's Diamonds at the St. John's Town Center. On approved credit, see store for details.
Attention men and women, if you'd like to get your hair back, then you need to listen to some of our clients. John in Orange Park.
IHRS showed me what was causing my hair loss and helped stop it.
Call IHRS now at 904-777-IHRS. Find out how to grow your hair back with a free hair and scalp examination. Diane from Ponte Vedra.
Now I have what lotions couldn't give me. Thick, beautiful hair.
Hurry and receive a free hair and scalp examination and get 2 weeks of laser treatments for free. Call IHRS at 904-777-4477. Hairforme.com.
Storms are part of every season. Make sure you're protected. Call American Electrical to make sure you have the best in surge protection. Don't lose your home electronics to a lightning strike. Call 737-7770 for American Electrical.
Picking here, or maybe you should call me Dreamfinders Danny. Look what Dreamfinders is doing again, an amazing 4.99% fixed interest rate. Now's your chance to lock down the rate and get in the game. You heard me right, a 4.99 fixed interest rate on select move-in ready homes. Visit dreamfindershomes.com for sales event information and get in the game. Interest rate available on select move-in ready homes. Restrictions and limitations apply. Go to dreamfindershomes.com for more details.
The doctors at Southeast Orthopedic Specialists have resolved my hip and foot issues, and I'm back to training for the 2028 Olympics in LA. This is Garrett Scantley, and I highly recommend Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
This is David Garrard. Following my knee surgeries and recovery, I'm continuing to feel great and would recommend Southeast Orthopedic to anyone who's experiencing orthopedic pain.
Southeast Orthopedic Specialists.
For 25 years, Instant Keys has been the go-to locksmith service for car keys, transponders, and even high-tech smart locks. For honest, professional locksmith service,
Instant Keys comes to you.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Here's another call on the 1010XL hotline, driven by Key Buick GMC, home of the lifetime powertrain warranty.
Shine bright like a diamond. Shine bright like a diamond.
Welcome back to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. It is our great pleasure to welcome in Kai Stevens of Jaguars.com. Kai, good afternoon. Are you enjoying this U.S. soccer euphoria?
Yeah, it's fun. It's exciting. I don't know. I always have a little bit of a lower expectation for the USA team because I never really know what's going to be. But this year's really fun, and I feel like they're just young and they really like each other. So it's a little bit more enjoyable. Plus, with the World Cup actually in the U.S., I think everybody's getting a little bit more involved. So I've been enjoying it a lot.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and we're looking forward to some Jaguars football. Obviously, Brenton Strange contract got done earlier this week. Want to ask you about that, but let's start off with we're a month away from camp starting, and the Jaguars announced in this week's last few days we're going to have a bunch of open practices for the fans to come out and see this team. Is that correct?
Yeah, I think it's close. Is it 10? I can't remember what the final one they went with was, but I mean, there'll be ample options for people to get out there. Plus, they do special kinds of days for, youth football players and different communities and stuff. And what they've done, if you haven't been in the last couple of years, for people that haven't gone to camp, they have the new stands next to the Miller Electric Center with the fans outside. So you actually are in the shade and you get some air movement, which in Jacksonville in July and August is very, very important because otherwise I wouldn't want to sit out there myself. But obviously this team's played so well the last year, and they've got so many really intriguing young players. Travis Hunter alone will probably draw a crowd. So I can see why fans will want to be involved. And it's nice that the new regime with, Tony Baselli leading the way in regards to this understands the fans want to be as involved as they can. So having these open practices is huge.
If I'm a fan, I see those two joint practices open to the public. Those are the ones I want to go to because that's basically two practices going on at the same time. Those are always fun. Brenton Strange signed his new contract yesterday, 3 years through the 29 season. Jaguars.com visited with him. What was his excitement level to get this deal done well ahead of free agency?
Yeah, I think, Ryan, I'm sure you've heard from your sources as well. There was two priorities in the offseason. It was Trayvon Walker and it was Brenton Strange. Those were like the have to get done things. And it didn't feel like if, it was a matter of when, in my opinion. So to get this done, and not that I call close to $50 million a reasonable amount of money because that's insane, but in terms of what we're talking about, it's pretty reasonable for Brenton Strange. And to keep him here, they really see him as a core when they talk about being tough and physical. Trayvon on the defensive side of the football, Brenton Strange on the offensive side of the football. They're not going to be able to be that tough physical team without those two guys out there, and now locking him down long term. It's going to open things up, and I think now the focus is going to turn to Parker Washington. Not that the focus wasn't there already, but now they can put all of their attention into that.
Kai, what's your confidence level that a deal does get done with Parker Washington between now and week one?
I wouldn't be surprised by like a almost Labor Day weekend sort of situation with that, because it might come down to the wire. And I know Parker's more than willing to bet on himself, so I wouldn't be surprised if they went into the year without one. But I know they are talking about it a lot, and they've got to get to somewhere where they're on the same page about things. So it's always hard with wide receivers because, the market is varies wildly, and there's always some really crazy numbers. So I'm not sure exactly what that's going to look like. Obviously, they also locked down Jacoby last year, so there's some movement there, but Parker's been so integral, special teams as much as he is in the offense, playing so many different roles. I would try to find a way to get it done as soon as possible.
And then, Kai, you make a good point because a lot of teams I've covered, they get those deals done Labor Day weekend. But really, there's not another receiver contract being done right now to sort of set the table for Washington's camp and say, okay, we have this number in mind. Like the Pitts thing probably helped the Strange get over the finish line. Another player that's going to be a free agent after the year is Antonio Johnson. I just think he's underrated and unheralded. What kind of season do you expect him to have this year?
I'm not sure because we've seen both, right? Obviously, under the new system, under Campanile, he really shined and looked great and was able to play well, especially with Eric Murray out due to injury at times. He played a lot more than maybe he originally thought he was going to. So this might be a middle of the year situation. And then again, it's also with the players. If the player's playing well in the middle of the season, they're not going to want to do a deal. They're going to want to wait and get on the open market, see what they can get. But also these guys are comfortable and they know what it's like to play in a system where they're not valued or they're not set up to be successful. So Antonio Johnson knows what that looks like. The first couple of years of his career, he didn't see as much success as he saw last year. So he may prioritize staying with a system that he knows where he's going to be able to make plays. So it's individual in that regard because what's important to the player, obviously they want to get the most money they can, but then also where they'll be able to be successful and then earn more going forward.
Yeah, without a doubt. Kai, tell us what's we can go check out at Jaguars.com. I know a lot of Brenton Strange content.
Oh, yes, of course. So he had his availability, so that was out as well. I love to put out the highlight reels of all the good stuff when the players get their long-term extensions. And then I'm not sure on the release date yet, but there's another episode of The Hunt that's going to come out before training camp talking about Iron Jaguar, which is their off-season kind of strength competitions that they got going on. They started it last year, and they did another edition this year. So I'll try to get the release date for you guys next week, but I think that'll be coming up around the 4th of July or a little bit after that.
Okay, just tell us now, did you win?
I did not win.
Oh.
I didn't have to participate, fortunately. JP was involved a little bit, so
all
he
right.
was involved in the 3-point contest. I was not asked this year, but maybe next time. I'll work on it.
Yes, sounds great. Kai, we certainly appreciate it. Have a wonderful weekend, and we'll look forward to catching up with you next week.
Thanks, guys. Talk soon.
Thanks,
right.
Kai.
Kai Stevens of Jaguars.com does a great job. When we come back on the lead, let's get it back to U.S. soccer. Let's talk about the Bosnia game coming up on Wednesday, strengths, weaknesses, things that we need to be mindful of. JJ is going to fill us in with that. We're also going to talk about some of the other results and what JJ has his eye on in terms of some interesting knockout matchups beyond the U.S. in Bosnia that'll be coming up. We'll do that next. You're listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
It's The Lead with Hayes, Ryan, and JJ from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Because touchdowns are more fun.
Pump fakes left, now throws it over the middle. Touchdown! 3 touchdowns tonight.
1010XL.
Got a dent or a scratch that needs fixing? San Jose Collision in Mandarin offers expert auto body repair and works with all insurance. Family owned and locally trusted. San Jose Collision in Mandarin.
This is Hayes Carlyon for Harrell and Harrell. After an accident, everything can feel chaotic and stressful. You're dealing with insurance calls, medical appointments, car repairs, and for most people, it's stressful and unfamiliar territory. That's where Harrell and Harrell comes in. Their team knows how overwhelming this time can be, and they guide you through every step of the process so you're never left wondering what comes next. If you've been injured and need someone in your corner, call Harrell and Harrell at 251-1111.
Don't miss the Bari Breakdown with Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays around 1:35 for the latest in sports injuries from all the big names in the game. Who's MIA, who's coming back? Dr. George Bari on XL Primetime, Wednesdays at 1:35 on 1010XL 92.5 FM.
The flagship station of the Jacksonville Jaguars. WJXL AM Jacksonville Beach. WJXL FM Jacksonville Beach.
Summer's here, and it's the perfect time to upgrade your backyard with Superior Fence and Rail. Get the fence you've been wanting with 12 months financing and no interest, so you can enjoy more privacy, more security, and more curb appeal without the upfront stress. Make your outdoor space ready for summer. You must have credit approval from our third-party financial institution. Call today or visit SuperiorFenceandRail.com.
SuperiorFenceandRail.com. Soccer fans, Michelob Ultra is going to pay somebody $90,000 to go to the FIFA World Cup 2026 final and bring the Superior Player of the Match trophy. Yes, I'm being serious right now. Got some weight to it. This is the real thing, people. Michelob Ultra, $90,000. FIFA World Cup 2026 final. You watch the match, you get the honor of carrying the Superior Player of the Match trophy. That's a soccer fan's dream come true.
Enjoy the beautiful game with a cold Michelob Ultra, the official beer of World Cup 2026. Want your son or daughter to enjoy sports year-round? Then log on to i9sports.com with summer and fall registration open right now, including girls volleyball at UNF and Bishop Snyder this summer, plus plenty of other sports on the First Coast. i9sports.com, enter 1010 in the promo code for a discount.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long, drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
The best value for golf in Jacksonville remains Cimarron, totally reestablished with new tee boxes, improved fairways and greens, also a brand new restaurant with indoor and outdoor settings, and live music. Join the Wild One loyalty program online at Cimarron Golf. When's the last time you played Cimarron? Cimarron Golf Club on 210, the Wild One.
In the fight against Alzheimer's, now is the moment we've been waiting for. With new treatments emerging in the fight against Alzheimer's and dementia, now is the time for hope and action. Held in over 600 communities nationwide, the Alzheimer's Association Walk to End Alzheimer's is the world's largest fundraiser for care, support, and research to fight the disease. So get out, get moving, and join the Walk to End Alzheimer's, November 7th, downtown Jacksonville. Join the movement at alz.org/Jacksonville.
I'm Jared Justice with your 1010XL Southeast Orthopedic Specialist local sports update brought to you by Awaken 180. Florida guard Xavier Lee has been invited to training camp with the Cleveland Cavs. The Jags joint practices with the Panthers and the Bucks will be open to the public. USA lost last night 2-3 to Turkey in the World Cup. 1010XL has World Cup updates all day. It's 87 degrees at 5 o'clock. Time and temp brought to you by Bueller Air and Plumbing. Stay cooler with Bueller.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
My tea's gone cold, I'm wondering why.
Welcome back to The Lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. We've got Ryan O'Halloran. We've got JJ LaSilva. I am Hayes Carline. You have a comment?
That takes me back to college. Is Dido?
Yeah.
Dido?
Dido.
There
Yeah,
we go.
how about that? And then obviously a lot of people know it from Eminem's
The
Stan.
Eminem one,
Which is another great song. But this is the actual original. So if you're more familiar with Stan, this is the full song. But yeah, Dido. How about that? I thought she'd be huge.
Yeah.
And it never really happened.
Great voice, too.
But to your point, it's hard to believe the song's like 25 years old, which is just like my hair is getting grayer just saying that sentence.
Well,
because I still think of this song as a new song. It's a quarter century old.
But it's always when you're on Sirius XM, whatever, and they'll play Ace of Base.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
like that's my freshman year at college.
You rocking out to the sign.
Da,
in
da,
the car?
da, 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 da.
that gives me a lot of pleasure. Thinking of you driving down the road blasting Ace of Base. That's good stuff. All right, welcome back to the lead. Let's get it back to U.S. soccer. So Turkey beats the U.S. last night in basically what was a meaningless game. They went on final kicks, 3-2, whatever. But JJ, let's now peek ahead. First off, Wednesday night, 8 o'clock. Scale of 1 to 10, how big is this one?
10. And especially for what Ryan was saying earlier in the show, like you can't start the tournament as hot as you have. You have the entire nation watching, enjoying. You're a likable team. Kai just said that. All these guys really likable. So you have all the casuals. You can't just go lay an egg and lose in your first knockout game. Like, you just can't. So I think this is a 10 out of 10 in importance and for not only the team, but just like soccer at large in the country.
So I'm looking at this matchup. So it's 8 o'clock game. Great.
Finally, for East Coasters, we get a primetime.
So they list the odds. They're listing a draw at plus 380. So you can bet the game to be tied at the end of regulation.
Yes.
That's stupid.
Yeah. Well, that's how it works. Oh, you're saying because it's a knockout game.
It's going to be.
Well, you can bet other ways.
Yeah.
So, like, you can bet on who it just advances, which means extra time and penalties are all through that. And the U.S. is a heavy favorite in that. But, yeah, you can just bet the 90-minute result.
So what do you think is our greatest strength against Bosnia? And how much, forgive me, how much have you, I don't know.
I've watched all of Bosnia.
Okay.
Unfortunately, they knocked out Italy before the tournament even started.
Oh, that's right.
So they play like a really rigid 4-4-2, which is basically like the most mundane style of football, soccer that you can have. They play very defensive-minded. They're going to be smart. They're not going to make any mistakes. Like, they're going to make sure, hey, we're going to try to get this to extra time or win 1-0 and try to steal a goal or something like that. The main thing we have against them is our athleticism. They are not a young team whatsoever. Bosnia is pretty old. They got a couple young guys, but they got some mostly veterans, pretty older guys. So if we can do what we did against Paraguay, specifically in the first half, and just totally choke them when they have the ball and not allow them to get, every time they get the ball, we just get it right back. Our counter press has been fantastic throughout this entire tournament. I think we should handle them. And maybe, like, once we get 2 goals on Bosnia, it's a wrap. So that's all you really need. It's not going to be like a high-flying Turkey type team that has some great offensive talent. If we get 2 goals in this game, we will win. But we can't make mistakes, and you really don't want to let them score first because they're just going to be all-out defense against you. And at that point, it gets to like the 60th minute, nerves start to come in. So you don't want that. You want to score early like we have been.
What concerns you about the matchup, if anything?
On the counterattack, we give up goals. And, like, obviously we won't be nearly as bad in defense as we were last night. But Tim Ream, if he gets caught in an island, it might be tough, especially this kid. I'm going to say his name. Kareem, oh, my goodness. Alabegovic.
Abdul-Jabbar.
Yes, Alabegovic. So he scored a nasty worldie, which in soccer world, that's like a 10 out of 10 goal. Crazy goal from outside the box. In his last game against Qatar, he's really young. He's their most flashy player on their team, and he's also really fast. So you don't want to see him one-on-one with, Tim Ream anywhere. And they have an old striker named Edin Dzeko, who I'm talking like he's in his early 40s at this point, and he's really smart. He's not going to beat you with his pace or anything like that, but if it's a corner kick, this guy could score really easily off a header. Like any set pieces like that, he's phenomenal at that. So stay away from the counterattack. Stay away from giving them like corners and easy fouls and easy set pieces like that. And I think we should be good.
Beyond the U.S. matchup with Bosnia, what are some other interesting knockout matchups that you've already got your eye on?
Yeah, there's some that are basically confirmed and others that we're just kind of waiting to see what happens. But I'll give you 2 that look really juicy that are already locked in. So Netherlands, Morocco, me and Ryan were talking about that during the break. 2 really, really high-flying, like attack-minded teams. That's going to be really fun to watch. The Netherlands, Holland's always in this. They always go deep, and they score lots of goals. Morocco's sort of new on the scene. They're not necessarily an international team that is always going deep in these tournaments, but the last World Cup, they made it to the semis, which was crazy for them. And they have really young attacking talent. So that's the game to watch for me. And then the next one, Brazil versus Japan. So Brazil is Brazil. You know, they've won the most World Cups. They always have the most pressure on them out of any team going into these tournaments. And Japan really doesn't have any pressure on them whatsoever. I read a story that like their government and their whatever their sporting, whoever you'd call it in that country is, they have a plan for 2050 to win the World Cup by 2050.
Japan?
So, yes. So it's not like
they can't do that. That interferes with my plan. For us to win the World
That's
Cup
what
in
happens.
2050.
Well, that's why they're stealing our goalies.
Exactly.
Yeah, how does that happen?
Suzuki, who was born in New Jersey, has an African father and his mother's Japanese, or vice versa. One of those. It might be flipped. But yeah, he actually would be America's best keeper if he was on our team. Unfortunately, he's with Japan. And they have a really, they're a great passing team. They're a great team. Brazil's got a lot of individuals, like Vinny Jr. is one of the players of the tournament to watch. So those two matchups are must watch for me.
Him saying one or the other on the parents reminds me of this great Super Bowl media day story where some guy went to a player, blind father, dead mother, or blind mother, dead father.
It's always a great way to start it. Do you remember what the answer was? That's hilarious.
But so I'll chime in. South Africa and Canada lead the round of 32 off. They got the stage to themselves on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah.
This would be a colossal collapse for Canada.
Well, they already screwed up by not winning their group, because if they won their group, they obviously would have hosted in Canada. They would have kept playing their games in Canada. But now it's like they're a quote, and I'm using, quotations with my fingers. I say this, host of the tournament, but they're not playing a game in Canada in their most important game of the tournament so far. So they really screwed the pooch by not winning that group. They were in a group with Bosnia, by the way.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They tie them?
Was that the game where the Canadian guy broke his leg?
No, that was against Qatar, I believe.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
maybe even South Africa. I gotta look.
Yeah, it's fine. I just was curious. But
South Africa, they beat South Korea the other night, right? When
yeah,
South
and
Korea
that was one of the worst games I watched of the entire season.
Are you watching game? Because I just in the last few days started watching some games that aren't involving the U.S. Have you enjoyed?
Canada Bosnia was a tie, by the way.
Okay.
I basically have had every game on except for the 11 o'clock games.
Okay. Yeah.
Because it's good background noise.
It is.
And there's nothing else on.
And the crowds are great.
Yeah,
Oh yeah,
they're all
just the atmosphere.
Yeah, they're all fantastic.
So I've pretty much been a regular viewer, which is sort of helping now because you remember, okay, this team really stunk.
So
South
who sticks
Korea.
out to you?
I mean, we talked about the heavyweights.
Mm-hmm.
Argentina, obviously, but also I thought the way France has played in these three games, I mean, they are just a
They look like the
locomotive.
best.
They're the best team. If you had to throw $2 on the board right now, I'd say France because they got the best player and they got the best team. And so I just thought.
And I'm assuming you're talking about Mbappe.
Yeah, and they got the other guy.
Yeah, Dembele, who is the Ballon d'Or winner, which is like the MVP of world football last year. He scored a hat trick in 30 minutes today. So it's like, even if even if Mbappe's not in this game, they have like 4 or 5 other guys that can score from outside the box. Dembele scored with both his left and his right today. They are just so talented.
Then on Brazil, the junior guy looks like he's starting
Vinny Jr.
He's starting to get going a little bit.
Yeah, he's very exciting, and he loves to rub it in the face of the other team when he scores too. Loves to dance in people's face. So he's one to watch for sure.
Yeah. I think England stinks.
England looked terrible in their last game. They looked good in the first game. So I'm really interested to see what. They might get Mexico in Mexico in the round of 16 match.
Well, we all know how well things went for England in the last Mexico World Cup.
Exactly, the hand of God.
God.
Yeah.
Do we know if we beat Bosnia, do we know, is it a fixed bracket?
Pretty much now, yeah.
Okay.
So it's not officially in yet who we would play after that, but it looks like it could be like Egypt or South Korea.
Okay.
In Seattle.
And it's like I'm not going to call any game easy in the World Cup, but you couldn't have asked for a easier road to the quarterfinals than those two games. And then if you get there, you play Spain, but I mean, who cares?
Yeah.
If you get there, it's a win.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. Great stuff, JJ. It's really been fun having you break this down for us again. JJ's got a soccer podcast every week you can go and find on 1010 Social, and he's doing an instant reaction. And so the instant reaction Wednesday will be like 10 o'clock. 10 o'clock.
Yeah, I mean, last night at 12:30, I had like 700 people watching on Twitter.
That's awesome.
So I was like shocked by the amount of people who were caring about, a post-match show of a match that we lost on the last kick of the game with our B team. So I'm really excited.
Well, it's been great insights, and we certainly appreciate it. When we come back on the lead, let's get it back to the Jaguars. We started to do our 53-man projection. We got through the offense. Let's switch gears. Ryan will give us his 53 projection for the defense. I will weigh in as well. You were listening to The Lead on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
This is The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
This World Cup soccer update is laced up by Valvoline Instant Oil Changes and Houston's Meats.
Westwood One Sports presents this World Soccer Update, sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Progressive Insurance makes bundling home and auto easy. Learn more at progressive.com. France has won Group I, and they did it looking like the favorites they are, with an exhilarating first-half hat trick by Ousmane Dembele within 32 minutes from the opening kick, leading to a 4-1 win over Norway, who moves on as runner-up of the group. There was no Erling Haaland in this game, as Norway played it safe, making 10 lineup changes. Meanwhile, Senegal are keeping their chances to qualify as a third-place team very much alive, putting the finishing touches on a 5-0 lead over Iraq in Toronto. In U.S. news, The Athletic reported today that U.S. Soccer has made an offer to extend manager Mauricio Pochettino through the 2030 World Cup, with the final decision to come after this tournament comes to an end. The U.S. plays Bosnia on Wednesday. I'm Lucas Panzica, Westwood One Sports.
Progressive knows there's no one more important to your team than your pet. They're like your top draft pick.
And it looks like Chuck has selected Pepper the Corgi. Bold pick there, Deborah.
Yeah, Rich, Pepper has a high ceiling for sure, but he does have a tendency to bark at every tree.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table, but also takes a lot off of it, especially when it's been left near the edge.
Nothing left to do now but suit him up for the dog park.
Protect your top draft pick from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
Sound familiar? At Mattress Firm, we understand there are many problems that can keep you up at night, like snoring, aches and pains, or sleeping hot. Our sleep experts have the unrivaled know-how to match you with a mattress that can help. And now at Mattress Firm, save up to $700, plus get a free adjustable base with select Sealy Posturepedic mattresses. For the great sleep you deserve, visit Mattress Firm. We make sleep easy. Restrictions apply. See store or website for details.
Mike Dempsey, if you're thinking about a bathroom upgrade, maybe turning that old tub into a safer walk-in shower, check out 5 Star Bath Solutions. I shopped around, talked to several companies, and I chose 5 Star because their customer service was simply incredible. Responsive, honest, upfront about the entire project, and their pricing was even better than expected. When you're ready for a fresh look, better comfort, and a bathroom space you'll love using every day, schedule your free consultation at 5starbathsolutions.com and get the 5-star experience.
CBS Senior Sports NFL columnist Pete Prisco spars with Frank and Hayes on The Frangie Show.
This guy must be quite the athlete, huh?
Thursdays on 1010XL.
You ever see him play?
Brought to you by Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles.
This is Richard Miller with your Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles update. Is your office or study needing some wall space covered? At Showtime, we have framed pieces of autographed jerseys and 16 by 20 photos, a variety of sports and sizes to make your office feel like yours. It's Showtime Sports Cards and Collectibles. Update your collection.
Frank Frangie here from my friend and insurance agent Craig Dewhurst. Craig has been helping families on the First Coast with their insurance needs for 25 years as your good neighbor and local State Farm agent. Now's a great time to review your insurance policies, whether you need auto, homeowners, or renter's insurance, or insurance for your golf cart, boat, or jet skis. Craig handles all of my family's insurance needs, and even better, he gives back to the community. Call Craig today at 904-940-9740. That's 904-940-9740.
Summer's almost here, and that means it's grilling season. Before you overpay at the big box stores, make a stop at Houston's Meat Company on Main Street and 295. For more than 50 years, Houston's has been Jacksonville's local butcher shop, serving up quality meats, incredible prices, and the kind of service you just can't find at a grocery chain. Steaks, burgers, chicken, ribs, whatever's on the grill this weekend, Houston's has you covered. Shop local, grill better. Make Houston's Meat Company part of your weekend tradition.
Blue here for the Blue Crab House, located right off of San Jose. It's on Jewington Creek Road. They've been around since 1996. Indoor-outdoor dining. Also, takeout is available at the Blue Crab House. Open 4:30 to 9, Tuesday through Saturday. Sunday, noon until 9. Remember, Tuesday, $2 margaritas. Wednesday, $1 oyster night. How about the blue crabs? How about my personal favorite, the Canadian snow crabs? Whatever it is that you fancy, you get it right there. The Blue Crab House.
Get out of the heat and into the action with the Jacksonville Sharks coming up Sunday, June 28th. Kickoff, 7:30, and tickets start at just $15. Be one of the first 1,000 fans and receive a free light stick. It's red out night. Wear a red shirt and let's make the tank a sea of red. Witness history as Aaron Garcia becomes the first player ever inducted into the Sharks Ring of Honor, presented by Kia on Atlantic. Bring the whole crew and try our family 4-pack. 4 tickets and $50 in food vouchers for only $100. The fun continues on the field after the game with our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 621-0700.
Get out of the heat and into the action.
Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks! Attention skilled electricians. Are you undervalued at your current company? Time to step up to the bigger projects and better opportunities. Join the team at Miller Electric Company, a trusted name in the industry for over 96 years. At Miller, we tackle the biggest projects in the city, offering not just the job, but an experienced, top-notch pay, unbeatable benefits, and the best working environments in the business. Please join the team that values your skills and rewards your hard work. Elevate your career to new heights. Apply today at millercareers.com, an equal opportunity employer.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. When it's game time, Farah doesn't flinch.
Welcome back to the lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. Hayes Carline along with Ryan O'Halloran and JJ LaSelva. So we did our 53-man projection earlier in the show on offense, Ryan. Give us your quick offensive recap before we move over to the defensive side.
Yep. So pretty clear cut. I have them keeping 3 tailbacks and 6 receivers. I think you went the other way of 4 tailbacks and 5 receivers. We all had the same 4 tight ends. We all had the same 10 offensive linemen. So really, I think the only real question mark is a fourth running back as opposed to a 6th receiver. And we did not include Hunter as an offensive player.
Correct. And so obviously he'll be in this side of things, of the 53-man projection. So let's start with, I separated defensive ends, defensive tackles. Okay. So who do you have at defensive end?
I have 5 defensive ends, Hines Allen, Walker, Wesley Williams, Strigo, and Green.
Okay. So no Durfee.
No Durfee.
Okay. Gotcha. And then at tackle?
I keep 4 tackles right now because of Walker's versatility.
Mm-hmm.
Hamilton, Armstead, Dickerson, and Regis.
Oh, so not the Atlanta kid either.
Nope.
Oh, wow.
So that was a tough decision, maybe like 5 running back, but I think he's a guy who can clear waivers and stick him on the practice squad.
So you then have a lot of options then at linebacker and in the secondary, because, I mean, that's how many defensive linemen did you end up keeping?
9.
9, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And I went with 10. So, okay, well, that's good. So you've got obviously some versatility there. Let's start at linebacker. This I just all grouped together. But how many linebackers did you end up keeping?
Right now I have 5 with 53 in parentheses. So Uluakun, Gardeck, Miller, Combs, Kaiser.
Okay.
And then Hughes, I was like on the fence. I probably would keep him as a 6th linebacker over Abdullah.
Okay. And I Hughes is the one that I did not keep. So that is one draft pick that I did not keep. I've got Combs, Kaiser, and then obviously Foye, Gardeck, and Ventrell. What about corner? What'd you do at corner?
I got 5 corners. Buster Brown, Jordan Lewis, Jurian Jones, Travis Hunter, and Jabbar Muhammad.
Okay. Muhammad, who you wrote a column on about a week ago.
So I gave him the edge over
Braswell. Okay. I went with Braswell just because, again, he's a great story to this point.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see how it looks.
Mm-hmm.
And he kind of told you that. He was like, look, I get it until the pads go on, and I've got work to do. But that should be a good battle. And then we know safety. Liam's talked about it. You asked Liam about what's the next evolution of defense, and he sort of said position versatility and safety is where you can really invest heavily into that if you want your 11 to look more streamlined.
Yeah. To me, that was we're going to play more dime this year.
Yeah.
So I have him keeping 5 safeties: Murray, Johnson, Ransaw, Husky, and Lane.
Yeah. And then obviously the 3 specialists are the ones that they've had for a while now.
The reason I went with 9 defensive linemen instead of 10 is it goes back to how they're going to deploy that sub package. I don't really like a lot of Ventrell Miller on the field in nickel.
Mm-hmm.
And then they, in guard act, okay, does he help them on the edge? Sort of another versatile piece there. But maybe they introduce something where they have 3 down linemen, 2 linebackers, and 6 DBs, and maybe give a look that way. And that makes you emphasize defensive backs more than defensive linemen.
Do you have a feel on Jalen Husky yet? I mean, this is a 3rd-round pick. We saw him, the Jaguars, I think it was either in the hunt or maybe just a video that they tweeted out from an OTA that we weren't at. Had a nice interception. Is Husky a guy that maybe we should be paying a little bit more attention to?
I would say not yet. And I'm trying to think where I said this. One of the things I took away from covering Mike Shanahan is he told us, he goes, until the pads go on, don't even think about running backs, linebackers, or safeties. And so I'm sort of keeping that in my mind because, and the reason I am is I didn't notice Ransaw at all.
Yeah.
And I didn't notice Husky hardly at all. You did notice some of the veterans and stuff, but until they can actually start thumping a little bit. But I think they drafted Husky with an eye toward 2027.
So when you look at your projection for the 53 on the defensive side of the ball, what jumped out to you as either something that surprised you or something that you view as a massive concern?
To me, a massive concern is when you write down those 5 defensive ends, if 41 or 40 get nicked up, they're in trouble. It's not quarterback level trouble, but I don't know where the pass rush is going to come from because Josh Hines-Allen got off to a terrible start last year. Trayvon Walker got hurt multiple times. And they want to trump up the pressure statistics. That's fine. You have to get the quarterback down. And so that, to me, that's an area where they have to be looking around late in camp or even midway through camp. Who's a veteran that can give them 15 to 20 snaps a game and just say, play on 3rd down?
And this is why those joint practices are so critical. I mean, it's certainly going to be helpful when they have padded practices here, just the Jaguars by themselves to see how Strigow and Green have developed and what you might have in the mid to late round rookies that they picked. But those joint practices, I think, will really make it crystal clear of what their depth looks like beyond Hines-Allen and Walker.
Yeah, because a guy like Strigow, a guy like Green, I mean, Strigow, they project more as an early down guy. BJ Green, more of a 3rd down guy. Well, BJ Green's going to get a regular set of reps in the joint practice, and he's going to have to play a lot in the game because you don't expect to see Hines-Allen or Walker more than a series, if that. So that's going to be an opportunity for BJ to show, hey, he can rush the passer with some consistency and be a part of that mix. Strigow, I thought, was heading in the right direction last year, but then he got hurt twice. So, so that was sort of a wash. But yeah, I think you're okay at defensive tackle. They don't grow on trees. You can't go just go get one right now. So
that's why if Jalen Carter really was available, that's why you gotta really try and make that happen.
Well, and then you say, well, it's going to cost a lot. I don't care.
I don't care.
Yeah.
I mean, he would be a game wrecker here.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and again, to your point, those guys are just really hard to find. In terms of looking at the defensive backs, what about corner? Like, how do you feel like that stacks up? What are your expectations for Hunter and Brown and Lewis?
Yeah, you divide it into 2 categories: health and not health. If everybody's healthy, I like their top 4. Gives them some options. Does it give them enough options to take Hunter off the field so he can play some offense? I hate that idea, but maybe they love it. So, if Lewis is healthy, I think he's just a nickel at this point. That's probably best for his durability. Have Hunter and Brown start outside. Jerian played a bunch of different roles last year. So I think if they can get through the preseason, confident Jordan Lewis is going to be back from his injury, confident Travis Hunter is going to be back from his injury, they should feel pretty good about their top 4.
What is this 53-man roster rank is probably a dumb way to ask you, but how would you describe this 53 compared to other Jaguar teams that you've covered and compare them to some of the Bills teams that you just recently saw and in Denver and Washington?
I mean, at this time in 2017, we didn't know it, but that roster ended up being pretty loaded. I mean, that was a good team. And the disease of me got them the next year and it all fell apart. The Bills team in 24, which was the last one I covered, that made the AFC title game. I remember the first practice in Rochester, Sean McDermott goes ones-on-ones, 2-minute drill. He was ready to go. That team was ready to go. They didn't really have a hiccup except for a 2-game losing streak. Anyway, 14-3, 13-4. That was a great team that ran into the wrong team. So in Kansas City. So I don't think it's to that level because I don't think the quarterback's to that level. But I would put Jacoby Myers and Parker Washington up against, I like Khalil Shakir. Keon Coleman stinks.
Yeah.
I put these guys ahead of him. So comparable, but still a little bit level below.
Is this a 53-man roster that you believe can get close to matching last season's 13-4?
I picked them to go 11-6 when the schedule come out because the schedule just looks not great with so many road games and you're playing 2 tough games in London. But I do think this is a division-winning team on paper right now. And I didn't see anything during the times we were at these practices that convinced me otherwise. They looked crisp. They looked like they knew what they were doing. They didn't have to blow the whistle because nobody knew where to line up. So I would be encouraged if I was them. Continuity helps. Let's see how, and now it's okay. Can you just survive training camp?
Yeah. Great stuff. That was a lot of fun. I'm with you. I mean, I think that this is as healthy and as balanced a roster in 2017 defensively that the amount of talent that team had compared to this team, it's not even close.
Mm-hmm.
The 2017 team, substantially more talent on the defensive side of the ball than this team. But I think from a balance standpoint, like I think they're probably like an A- on offense and probably a solid B on defense, which is saying a lot because there's a lot of NFL organizations that are like C on one side and F on the other.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, to be not just competent, but able to win a game on either side of the football is pretty rare.
Yeah, and that 17 team, once they lost Allen Robinson that opening game, it was Allen Hurns and Marquise Lee and Keelan Cole. Well, this group's better than that group.
Right.
This group of tight ends is better because Mercedes was, nearing the end here, even though he played another 15 years elsewhere.
Right.
So, but
and Trevor's better.
Yeah. So, boy, that's tough.
It is, but I mean, but it's nothing against Trevor. We just we really enjoyed covering Blake, but there's no
Lawrence is better.
Yeah, I mean, it's not up for debate. It's empirically Trevor Lawrence is better.
Or the player during the 2017 training camp night practice who threw 5 interceptions. After the 4th interception, a future Hall of Fame left tackle turned EVP says, "I leave after 4." That would be Tony Baselli, who walked out of practice.
That was hilarious. Oh, great story. When we come back on the lead, we're going to kind of jump around a little bit. Boy, JJ, the Braves are really struggling.
Oh, my God.
I mean, I've been dying
They're the worst team in baseball.
Yeah, I guess your take on that. Scotty Scheffler did something pretty amazing on the golf course today. We'll fill you in on all of that. You're listening to The Lead on 1010XL, 92.5 FM.
The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Share your life with 1010XL. Follow us on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram.
Oh, wait. I'm going to take a picture and post it on Facebook. What? Hashtag
1010XL.
It's Men's Health Month, and Ackerman Urology reminds you that early detection matters for prostate health. If you're over 40, now's the time to get checked. 1 in 8 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lifetime. So don't wait. Visit AckermanUrology.com.
This is Hayes Carlion for Harrell & Harrell. You've heard me talk about Harrell & Harrell for years. Holt Harrell is a friend of mine. We went to school together and have known each other for decades. That's why I care about people choosing the right attorney after an accident. Who you choose first really matters. I've heard from Holt how confusing the insurance process can be and how long it can take to get the right medical care. I've also seen firsthand with friends and family who were in accidents. Once Holt and his team stepped in, the insurance call stopped. Call Harrell & Harrell at 251-1111.
Rotator cuff injuries are common among athletes and those who have physically demanding careers. Don't let this injury keep you away from the sport you love. Dr. George Barry here, and the first thing you need to do with a serious shoulder injury is to diagnose where the damage is and how significant it is. Rotator cuff tears are either acute tears sustained during an injury or accident, or degenerative tears. If you're interested in learning more about rotator cuff repair and how our expert team of orthopedic surgeons can help you, call Barry Orthopedics today or visit barryorthopedics.com.
AC's broke, it ain't no joke. Call Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. Florida Home AC. FloridaHomeAC.com.
America's turning 250, and Superior Fireworks is ready for the biggest 4th of July in a generation. Beat the rush and save during their 4th of July early sale, now through June 30th. Shop early for the best prices, selection, and shopping experience before huge last-minute crowds arrive. Superior Fireworks, the locally owned fireworks superstore, right on Blanding Boulevard in Orange Park and at superiorfireworks.com/radio.
Credit card interest rates are now over 29%. Most people are only making the minimum payments, so they're getting nowhere. Hey, Prosser here, but here's what many homeowners don't realize. Using the equity in your home, you can easily access hundreds of thousands in cash. With Loan Pronto's Rapid Equity Loan, you can pay off your credit card, your existing HELOC, your car loans, or get money for that home improvement project. One client just got $100,000 approved and saved over $1,500 a month. Here's the best part. With Loan Pronto, you can do it all from your phone. With zero out-of-pocket, no hard credit pull up front, no appraisal, no long drawn-out bank process, and no touching your first mortgage. Rates are at a near 3-year low. Act now. Go to loanpronto.com. See how much you can get in about 60 seconds. Loan Pronto, 2,800 5-star Google reviews. Call 904-999-1508 or go to loanpronto.com. Equal housing lender, NMLS 1661781, NMLSconsumeraccess.org.
I'm Rick Ballou. DraftKings Sports is live in all 50 states. Yes, that means you, Florida. The whole world is watching one tournament right now. Group stage chaos, knockout drama, stoppage time heartbreak. The DraftKings Sports app is now live in Florida, so whether you're catching the early kickoff before work or the late match at the bar, you are in on every minute, every match, every moment, all in one app. Right here in Florida, the world's biggest stage in the palm of your hand. New DraftKings customers sign up with the code 1010XL, spend $5 and get $200 in total rewards. That's code 1010XL in partnership with DraftKings. The crown is yours. Event trading offered by DraftKings Predictions, a CFTC registered introducing broker. Trading involves risk of loss, market availability varies. Eligibility restrictions apply. $50 every 7 days via click the claim issued in non-withdrawable. Predictions, dollars that expire in 1 year. Ends June 28th. Terms dkng.co/predictions promo.
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Focused, fueled, fearless, Farah. Now, the Monahan's golden moment. Monahan Jewelers in Atlantic Beach, your local family jewelers.
All right. The golden moment today was Kai Stevens. We always appreciate Kai dropping by on the lead. She gave us some really great insights about Britton Strange, and boy, it will be fun, all those open practices for the Jaguars. You made a great point. Go out there for the joint practices, because that really, I mean, particularly it's free. You just got to go register on Jaguars.com. But that is really fantastic NFL content that you're getting for nothing.
Yeah, and I would even suggest bringing your binoculars, because if you're on one field, you can look at the other field and they're going at the same time. And so those are it's one step below being the game. because it's starters versus starters.
Yeah, well, no doubt about it. And there'll be some really intriguing one-on-one matchups in those both those sessions. A couple of things I want to hit on. Major League Baseball. JJ, what has happened to the Atlanta Braves?
They've completely went in the tank.
They're only 4 games up.
Oh, yeah. Not only are they only 4 games out or up, they might be struggling to make the wild card at the end of the year. So, like, they're starting pitching, which at the beginning of the year, it was always like, wow, I can't believe that they're doing so well with these starters. Like, we always kind of knew that they would come, but, Water finds its level. Exactly.
Yeah.
But Water really found its level.
Wow.
And they're basically down to, like, Chris Sale as the only respectable starter. Maybe Perez, but like everybody else has been getting shelled. Elder started the season with like an ERA below 2 through the first couple months of the year. He gives up like 6 runs a game now, easy. And the hitting, Ronald is hurt, so that hurts. But then everybody else, man, it's like 1 or 2 runs a game at this point. Baldwin, the catcher, who was so good to start the year, who won Rookie of the Year last year, got hurt, just terrible timing. He came back. They didn't really have enough time to rehab him like they wanted to because the team was struggling so bad. They just put him in the lineup. He's like 2 of 35 since he's been back. It's just an absolute cluster. And the worst part about it is the Phillies win every single night.
Right.
The Phillies, like I've been saying.
They've made up 3 games in the last 3 days.
Yeah, since I've been saying, I've been trying to tell Frank this for months.
Right.
The Phillies have a better roster than the Braves. Like, it's not even close. The Phillies have, to me, the second best roster probably in baseball behind the Dodgers. So I think they're going to pretty much run away with this division at this point. So hopefully the Braves, like, make a couple moves here, get a couple starters, maybe an outfielder, but they really need to just like win just a couple games this weekend to stop the bleeding. And now I'm looking at the wild card. Now, I was like just watching the Phillies in the standings. Now I'm looking at like the Cubs and the Pirates and all these wild card teams. It's rough for the Braves.
The Phillies obviously fired their manager months ago,
and it worked out.
The Mets fired their manager today.
Too little, too late.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Yeah.
They lost 6 in a row, so that was a mercy killing, so to speak.
They should have done it 2 months ago.
And David Stearns is next because it's such a poorly constructed team. But did the Braves get too comfortable?
I see. Baseball is hard to say that because it's such an individual sport. But I think they got too comfortable front office wise, and they haven't done anything. And they were just thinking like, "Hey, we don't need to make a move this early before the deadline because look at our big lead," knowing that Water was eventually going to. I mean, the guys in the front office had to know we couldn't rely on this starting staff for the whole season. So. Maybe they did. Maybe the front office got too comfortable because they should have made at least one move by now.
Ryan, getting a quick look here at the PGA Tour, the Travelers, a signature event going on. It looks like Scotty Scheffler may have refound his form.
Well, as Brandel Chambly said this morning on their pregame show, this is a golf course where you can miss right, miss left, miss short, and hit it too long, and you still get it. Yeah, he goes.
Yeah, it's not playing tough.
This is a course where you see how fast you can run, how many birdies you can make. And that was before he shot 60. He had about probably 15-footer for 59, and it was a tough to read that putt. So tapped in for 60. Hovland shot 61. So I think it's going to be a fun weekend to watch because it is a pretty stacked field.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Scheffler 16 under. He leads by 2. You mentioned Hovland at 14, and then there's a group of players at 12 under. This was sort of surprising. Cameron Young, the Players Champion, seems like maybe the pixie dust is kind of falling off him a little bit. Obviously, he's had a tremendous year no matter what else he does. But Cameron Young, 2 over today through 16, but he was shot just even yesterday. And
that's crazy on a course where people are shooting 59.
He's literally like, he's not in last. Sepp Straka is 5 over and he's done for the day. But Cameron Young is 2 over for this tournament, still has a couple holes left, but he's 18 shots back at Scheffler.
Yeah. He was so hot to start the year too.
Yeah.
So he ran out of gas a little bit.
Yeah.
It could be. And again, I mean, it's been an incredible year for Cameron Young, but it's interesting to see, obviously, the peaks and valleys, and probably no sport has those more than golf. But Scotty Scheffler looks like he's red hot as we get ready to head over for the British Open in a couple weeks.
Yeah, and this is like you mentioned, this is a signature event. Scheffler's playing, Fitzpatrick's playing, Cam Young's playing, McIlroy's not playing.
Right.
He never does.
I have a problem with that.
He never
He's
does.
in Royal Birkdale.
Yeah.
He's scouting the
Yeah, so he'll probably
the
play
British
like
Open.
the Scottish Open the week
Yeah.
before, maybe,
Right.
like he usually does. So he's all
Not a
about the
tour man.
majors. No,
Yeah.
he's not a PGA.
Well, they said today they're going to give him an exemption because he's not going to hit the minimum required.
I could see that.
Yeah, so which is weird because you still have all the playoff and stuff. So that's how little he has played.
Mhm.
That they
can't-
already have to come out and say we're going to give him an exemption because we know he's not going to hit the number he needs to hit.
Do you remember he didn't play at all between the Masters and the PGA, like at all?
Right.
So
and usually there would have been one or two.
yeah.
In there. Yeah. So, but yeah, I like Rory, but yeah, it's
He's all about the majors. Which,
this is the
can
way
you
I
blame
look at
him?
it.
I mean,
if I was a PGA Tour, he saved the PGA Tour.
Yeah.
By not going to live.
You're exempt.
So if he wants to play 6 events a year, I'm going to give him an exemption every
Exactly.
single time.
And can you blame the guy? He knows, like at this point,
It's
it's
all about the
majors.
majors,
It's about the legacy that he
Exactly. It's about winning on courses that he wants to win at, and
Well-
and he did well the last time they had the British Open at Royal Birkdale. I think he finished 4th. So he, at least again, that's many years ago. We know how these rotations work. But as we get closer to the final major of the year, something to be mindful of that Rory's playing well. He's in good form. Although I survived him with the loser Monday
Because of John Rahm.
Because of John Rahm, but he didn't play great
I
at the
thought
U.S.
he
Open.
would he came into the weekend 1 under maybe.
He
and
was in great
Oh yeah,
position.
and I was like, this is the
Yeah.
guy to watch that
Right.
no one's talking about. And
I think he
no.
ended up finishing outside the top 30.
Yeah, 6 over.
Yeah,
maybe.
something.
I
like
should
that,
call my
so.
predecessor and say, call your boy Rory
Yeah,
and say, hey,
right.
it's your buddy. Start playing.
Well, hopefully he can go to the British Open as a spectator. But when we come back on the lead, we'll wrap it up. We'll get ready to welcome in Rick Ballou, and we'll get another thought on U.S. soccer. You were listening to 1010XL 92.5 FM.
You're listening to The Lead from the Harrell and Harrell studio. Don't settle for less than you deserve.
Live streaming from the XL Digital Studios. Brightened by Harbor Dental Care, Jacksonville's first choice for dental emergencies.
This is Brent Musburger's Visa in Action update on 1010XL. Brought to you by Duck Duck Rooter Plumbing, Septic, and Air Conditioning. When you're stuck, call the Duck. Proud partner of the Jacksonville Jaguars.
With the NBA wrapping up its player draft on Wednesday night in Brooklyn, the Oklahoma City Thunder and the San Antonio Spurs are the betting favorites to win the finals next season. Both are at plus 260. While the Boston Celtics are the best bet out of the East, they are plus 600 to capture the Larry O'Brien Trophy. The defending champions, the New York Knicks, are plus 800 to repeat, while the Miami Heat, who acquired Giannis Antetokounmpo in a trade with the Milwaukee Bucks, are plus 2,000 to win the NBA Finals. The Denver Nuggets are at plus 2,200. Spurs star Victor Wembanyama is plus 200 to be next season's MVP.
Progressive helping veterans drive their lives forward. More info, keysofprogress.com.
I'm Tony Desiri with your Visa in Action update on 1010 XL.
Hi, this is Dale Murray with Murray Automotive Group in Stark and Kingsland. Save yourself from those big city dealers and their fast-talking mumbo-jumbo. No matter what your automotive need is, we've got you covered. Ford, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, and nobody beats our prices. I mean nobody. Shazam! Plus our exclusive 15-year, 150,000-mile warranty included on every qualified vehicle. And we'll trade anything from high heels to wagon wheels. Compare our prices online at ShazamAuto.com. Then come see me, Dale Murray. I'll be waiting for you. Shazam!
Instant Keys. You don't have to go to the dealer. Instant Keys comes to you. For lost or broken keys or nearly any make and model of vehicle, call 722-1111 for Instant Keys Locksmith Service.
Frank Frangie here. These days, it's hard to know which companies to trust. But when it comes to banking, I trust South State Bank. South State truly values its customers, and they work hard to create meaningful, lasting relationships. I love going into my local branch. I see the same smiling faces I've seen for years. South State is the largest bank headquartered in Florida, so they're able to offer all the banking services you need. You can trust South State Bank. Banking forward. Member FDIC, equal housing lender.
And that concludes the Josie Jack of All Trades show. Tune in next week where I'll be installing my own French drain.
Joe, wake up, man.
Hey, John, I must have dozed off.
We finished those projects you started.
Whoa, my seamless gutters are actually seamless.
And they're connected into underground PVC drain lines.
And my sprinklers. Wow, look at that coverage.
Next time, just call me first, Joe.
I will, but I ain't singing that song.
Clearwater irrigation
and drainage too.
Birthdays, anniversaries, and graduations happen year-round. That's why it's good to have Kuhn Flowers on hand to send that floral arrangement with a simple click, call, or showroom visit. This is Hacker. Make Kuhn Flowers your go-to when you need to send your love.
Happy Father's Day to all you fathers.
Absolutely. Happy Father's Day.
Well, thanks, guys.
Wow, I wonder how many fathers out there would love a new outdoor kitchen under their new pavilion or screen enclosure from Lifetime Enclosures.
I bet most would. Imagine having the entire family over and cooking a barbecue feast for everyone, protected from the elements.
I'd like to cook for Dad. Jacob, do you think you could? I think so, Pan.
I bet both you guys could.
Visit Lifetime Enclosures website or visit our showrooms today to experience the Lifetime difference and ask about our Father's Day specials.
Lifetime Enclosures.
Big PY needs your help. After my life-changing car accident in 2022, the Patrick Young Foundation was built to help individuals and families rebuild after spinal cord injuries through hope, encouragement, and real financial support. With Reps to Rise, we're challenging you to walk, run, lift, stretch, swim, and complete 629 minutes of movement during June. Join me Saturday, June 27th at Four Corners Park with First Coast CrossFit, and Sunday, June 28th at the Gym Jack. Go to py4foundation.org for the details. That's py4foundation.org.
Get out of the heat and into the action with the Jacksonville Sharks coming up Sunday, June 28th. Kickoff 7:30 and tickets start at just $15. Be one of the first 1,000 fans and receive a free light stick. It's Red Out Night. Wear a red shirt and let's make the tank a sea of red. Witness history as Aaron Garcia becomes the first player ever inducted into the Sharks Ring of Honor, presented by Kia on Atlantic. Bring the whole crew and try our family 4-pack. 4 tickets and $50 in food vouchers for only $100. The fun continues on the field after the game with our free autograph session, sponsored by Flight Adventure Park. For tickets, go to jacksharks.com or call 904-621-0700. That's 621-0700.
Get out of the heat and into the action.
Sharks football, where memories are made.
Go Sharks!
1010XL, presented by Farah and Farah, exclusive injury law firm of the Jacksonville Jaguars. Still, present, ready. Farah doesn't flinch.
All right, welcome back to the lead on 1010XL 92.5 FM. I'm fired up for Wednesday in the soccer. I mean, JJ, where are you going to be watching it?
I will actually be at a watch party.
Nice.
At Twin Peaks. 1010XL sponsoring that, of course. And then I'll probably leave around halftime so I can get home in time for my show.
Yeah, what about you? Well, where will you be?
I'll be watching at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I need to hear the announcers.
Okay. Yeah.
Explain it.
I'm looking for a party. So if anybody has a party, I
know one guy that will.
So we got the guy right here.
Speaking of parties.
Let's do it.
Now, the 2-minute drill is driven by nobody but Nimnicht. Nimnicht Chevrolet on Cassett Avenue and Nimnicht Buick GMC on Phillips Highway.
Rick Ballou joining us now.
Think I'm
Rick,
Belushi or something?
What are we going to do? What's the plan, Rick, Wednesday?
Do you remember Eddie Money's album, Where's the Party? From one of the more underrated, I think. As a matter of fact, I think when the first free concert I ever saw was circa maybe 1987 in Fort Lauderdale Beach, spring break, Eddie Money.
How about that?
Free concert.
Was that Take Us to Paradise era? Or
no,
would
that was a little bit
Take Me
after
Home
the
Tonight
fact.
era?
That's when he came back. Yeah, he kind of made a comeback. But
yeah.
I mean, I'm old enough to remember when spring break actually was in Fort Lauderdale before it moved to Daytona.
Right.
So,
hard to believe.
I'll take you back.
Yeah.
Are you ready for the NHL draft tonight?
Not really.
Yeah.
To be honest with you, I mean, I enjoyed watching the Major League Baseball draft combine the other day. That was really something that I've never experienced before. But, you know, the NBA draft that went on this week is nowhere near as captivating as it used to be for me. Of course, we live and die with the NFL draft. And, you know, there's a lot of relevance to it because you expect those first rounders and second rounders to come in and be massive contributors. But whether it's hockey, baseball, or basketball, you just don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, I was looking at the thing at the first picks in the Major League Baseball draft, historically speaking, and you got to go back to like Bob Horner, all right, Ken Griffey Jr., but there's not been a lot of first guys selected. Compare that to football and basketball, it's amazing.
Yeah, without a doubt. What's coming up?
We got a lot of good stuff coming up tonight. I got a few Jaguar things I want to get into. I want to make a statement because I'm such a fan of what the Jaguars have done, and I've said it time and again. I think this is going to be a better team than it was a year ago. But there's one other aspect of this whole thing that needs to come to fruition. And hopefully the listeners don't know what I'm talking about. They will in about 5 minutes.
Great.
That's a good tease.
Yeah, that is a good tease. We'll be listening. All right, that's great stuff. Rick Ballou coming up next. It's been good seeing you. What do you got coming up on Jacksonville.com?
Call him tomorrow. I talked to Brad Faxon about Miles Russell.
Wow. How about
and then talked to Luke Locks, the Florida State basketball coach, about his portal class and some other Brenton Strange thoughts. So a cornucopia of information in tomorrow's Times Union.
Very good. We'll be looking forward to that. Thanks so much. That's going to do it for us. Thank you for listening to The Lead. For Ryan, for JJ, I am Hayes Carline. Into the night with Rick Ballou up next on 1010XL 92.5 FM.